Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's your boy King J, and I'm joined with Party Wolf. Now, he doesn't need no introduction. He's number one with Cassandra on the rankings right now, and I was like, "Whoa, okay." I didn't know that, but I saw it today. I was like, "Yeah, this guy's crazy crazy at this game." So, welcome on board, man. I'm happy to collaborate with you, man.
Yeah, this is awesome. I'm glad you're doing this.
Thank you very much, man. So we're gonna talk about the archetypes for Soul Calibur 6. So this is like whether they're grappler, zoner, rushdown, and stuff like that. They might even be archetypes that I don't even know about. So this is gonna be very interesting to see. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off from the top. So Cassandra, where would you place her?
Okay, so this character, she's kind of an all-rounder, but she does specialize and grabs a little bit. She doesn't have the throw range of some of the other grappling characters, but she does have her own unique throws like crouch grabs. Kind of like, she has like a tackle stance that's similar to like a Marduk style stance where you just jump on the opponent and then they have to guess between two different throws. But overall, this character is very balanced in how you want to play her. The issues you'll find is that she is a little bit stubby in terms of range. But one of the reasons that I play her, which is one of my favorite reasons, is that she's the only character in the game that is built around guard damage, like restoring her own guard damage gauge. And what I mean by that is she has a mode called Divine Force, where her sword and shield, they get like an electricity aura. Similar to like if you're familiar with like Tekken Claudio, he has like the blue hand sort of deal.
The starburst, yeah.
Yeah. It's the same principle with her. So she uses one of those moves, she'll restore 10% of her guard gauge.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So what would you call it then? An all-rounder?
I would say an all-rounder, and you can be pretty aggressive with her because of her grab mix-ups.
Okay, nice. All right, let's go for Siegfried. What would you call him?
So Siegfried, he obviously has a lot of range because he's the big sword character. One thing that you'll find that's really annoying about him is his stance mix-ups. He has a true 50-50 out of reverse side hold stance, which is like a knockdown low that gives a mini combo and a knockdown mid that gives a mini combo. So you kind of just have to guess. And the other thing this character is really good at is he has a technique which is a high horizontal called AGA.
Mm-hmm.
And why that's really good is because it's +2 on block and it does a knockdown as well.
Okay.
So he can be pretty frustrating if he spaces you out. One hindrance you'll find with the character if you're using him is that he has the worst backdash in the game. So being good at placing those keep out buttons is very important with him. And the thing that makes him unique is most characters have like their own like little subsystem. His is basically, he has a rage mechanic, like a Tekken 7 style rage mechanic, where he'll get a rage drive when he's at yellow health, and that lets him, he has two different ones he can choose. So he has the bubble, which is the one most people are familiar with, it's been around for longer, and that's essentially, if you do any mid or high, or grab, he will just parry it, and the bubble will beat everything. And if you block it, tough luck, because it's like +2 or 0 on block. I can't remember which one. So it's like a very hard to deal with scenario. And then the other thing that he can do with it is he has a better 14 frame punish from crouch. And he'll also, if you don't spend the rage drive and you just hold on to it, he'll get new leaflets. For example, that mix-up I was talking about from reverse side hold, where it's just like you have to block lower mid. Those will lethal hit if you're just like blocking and you guess incorrectly. So it's very, very... he's a very good comeback character for that reason. Probably one of the better ones in the game.
So what would you call him? Rushdown, 50-50?
I would say he's a little bit of a mix of spacing, like making you frustrated as keep out buttons, and like a bit of rushdown too, if you want to play that way. Okay,
cool. Alright, Zasalamel.
So this character is very weird in the sense that no one is really like him. He has two things going on for him, basically. So the first thing, which is something he's been able to do in every game, is he can pull people in on block with his scythe. You'll notice that most of the attacks that this character has do not really push your opponent away. They do the opposite. They will drag you in to point blank. So if you're trying to run away from him, even if you manage to get away from him, it's not going to matter for very long if he manages to make you block something or if you get hit by something. Because all that work you did just like vanishes.
So would you say unique?
Yeah, he is unique.
Hold on. One second. Where would you place him in the archetypes? Would you place him as unique?
Yeah, he's definitely a unique character. So between the dragging in mechanic, the other mechanic that he has is he has a curse mechanic. And what this does is you can stack either 1 to 3 different curse orbs on your opponent if they block or get hit by certain moves. And this allows you to change the frame data on certain attacks because he will spend the curse and stop time to allow better combos. So that is the other thing this character has going on.
Okay, cool. And then moving on, we have Nightmare. So hold on, there we go, Nightmare. So where would you place Nightmare? Because obviously Nightmare's base, I don't want to say basically Siegfried. Sometimes this is what people like to say. I want you to clarify. Is Nightmare basically Siegfried?
Most of the time, no. But he does have some moves that are shared. The thing that makes him a lot different from Siegfried in this game specifically is he has an armor mechanic, and what this allows him to do is you can absorb certain hits on like lower damage moves.
Whoa. And
he will just completely disrespect your little frame traps that you want to do on him.
Whoa.
Which makes him very very gorilla like if you will. So way different character. And like Cassandra, he has his own little divine force thing going on.
Yeah.
Called Night Terror Charge. And his soul edge will glow. And this allows him to do 1 attack from his soul charge, and only 1 attack.
Okay, cool. So where would you place him then? Would you say that he's mixed up as well?
He's got really good grab range, but I think the thing that really makes him shine is just his ability to disrespect and also the amount of guard damages he can do and like normal hit damages.
So you say aggressive? What archetype would you say?
Definitely.
Aggressive.
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay, cool. And then we got Amy.
Amy is pretty much a perfect character. She has great punishes, great anti-step tools, amazing mix-ups, actually. The thing that makes her unique is that she has a rose mechanic. She has red roses and white roses. So if you get 4 of a color, you get access to more moves. And if you get both red and white, you get purple. Don't ask me how red and white mix to purple instead of pink, but that's how it works. Most players will only do red rose though, just on the principle that white is really complicated to get because there's less combo routes to get a white rose. So most of the time people just do red rose, and that's more than enough. So but she's perfect basically. You can play her very aggressively and you can parry a lot of things with her.
So we're saying mix up then, right?
Yeah, definitely mix up. Strong mix-ups.
Okay, cool. Tira. I've always wanted to know about this character because I've seen she's quite popular in tournaments. I've seen her quite regular in tournaments.
Definitely more now, yeah.
So tell me a bit about her. Like, what is she like? What's her? Because she seems just like a unique character. Like she has, I don't know. She just seems different than the rest of the cast.
Oh yeah. So she basically has 2 different move lists. The Jolly move list and the Gloomy move list. Your Jolly move list is going to look more spacing, like keep out sort of playstyle where you just do like little strings and make them hesitate on your strings. The Gloomy playstyle is going to be a little bit more aggressive, and also when you get your punishes with Gloomy, it's going to do way more damage than your Jolly punishes.
Yeah.
So the way that all that works is you'll have some moves that will be like a random value to switch her from Jolly to Gloomy.
Okay.
And only certain moves do that. And if you do it enough times, if you do it 9 times to be specific, you enter a state called Gloomy Coda. So what that means is every time you're in Gloomy stance from then on in the game, you will be able to do all of her soul charge moves like relentlessly until you get mood switched. So it's a really nasty character when you get to that point.
Nice.
So she's just because of the fact that she's basically two characters in one. Jolly is definitely the more like defensive, keep out sort of playstyle, and then Bluey's gonna be more of your I'm gonna cash in on my big damages sort of character.
Okay, cool. So where would you place her? What would you place her in the archetypes?
I guess just because you want to mood switch so much, she's very fluent, and she's like a stacking sort of character. You want to try to stack those mood switches as much as you can.
So would you say, well, she's not mix-up. Would you say like unique? Would you put in unique?
I would say unique, yeah. She's one of the most unique characters in this game, I think.
Cool. So we'll go Ivy. Where do you think of Ivy?
So Ivy is the only character in this game that's a grappler and a zoner at the same time. So that's really all that needs to be said. If you try to get in on her, she'll just keep pushing you out with that whip. If you statue block from like further distances, she can do like the low grab portal thing that will pick you up off the ground. And then if you get too close to her face, she has an untechable grab and a command grab that's super, super hard to break. And does a lot of damage. So it's basically it's a grappler's dream. You can zone in, you can grab people all day.
Okay, cool. So she's a grappler plus zoner.
Yeah, very straightforward.
Cool. And then we've got Astaroth. What do you think about him?
So he's just the straight grappler. He has so many ways to grab you, it's insane. It's like he has the crouch grabs, he has a jumping crouch grab that he can't break, he has ground grabs, he's got command grabs from standing that do insane amounts of damage. He has armored grabs, and his armor works a little bit differently than Nightmare's. The way Astaroth's armor works is he can take more damage, but he cannot take strings. So if a move does 2 hits, it will crush the armor every single time.
Was it always like that in season 1 then? Because I remember he just used to run at you and throw you. Oh, it's always like that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So he's basically a grappler then.
Yeah, he's a really good grappler. You can play keep out with him too, but the damages shine when you get good counter hits in there, and when you get your grabs going. Because he's not a very fast character. Unlike Ivy, she has like more faster pokes, but Astaroth, he's a slow boy, so you have to be more deliberate, like a normal grappler in a fighting game.
Cool. And then we got Sophitia. Now, this character, I'd say she's popular in Soul Calibur. Everyone kind of knows who this character is, even if they're casual players. So, where would you place her in the archetype?
She's very neutral focused, I think. She doesn't do anything too crazy, but she does have very consistent moves, just because of the ranges and the frames on her attacks. So if you want to play her like very well-rounded, that's like the perfect way to play her, I think. She has good punishes, she has decent pokes. Nothing really crazy going on with her. She's just very normal.
That makes sense. It makes sense. So we'll just call her balanced then, or balanced?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay, cool.
That's good.
Maxi. Now, I used to like this character in Soul Calibur 2. This is when I was just playing casual, so this one's going to be interesting to me. Where would you place him in an archetype?
So, the thing about Maxi is he has 6 different stances. That all connect to in the same stance. He's kind of like, if you're familiar with Tekken, he's kind of like a whoring style character where you like go from right flamingo to left flamingo all the time. But instead of right flamingo to left flamingo, you have 6 different stances that he can go into.
6.
6, but it's not a very extensive move list in each of them. He only usually gets like 3 or 4 attacks in each stance. So it's not too hard to look out for them, but you have to be really good at recognizing like which stance is which visually. So he's a really hard knowledge check. But if you do manage to get past that knowledge check, most Maxi players will focus on doing the stance mix-ups, or they'll focus on trying to whip punish you and maybe land some of his more ranged counter tools, like 2-2A. Because even though he has nunchucks, sometimes those nunchucks can hit you like where you don't expect it, man. Like, don't sleep on the nunchucks when he's far away.
So we're gonna say that he's a stance-based character.
He's definitely, yeah, clear stance-based character.
Okay, cool. And then we've got, how do you say her name? Xianghua?
That's perfect.
Oh
yeah.
wow, I didn't butcher her name. That's sick. All right. So Xianghua, like, what do you think about this character as an archetype? Like, where would she be placed?
So she's similar to Sophitia, but she's a little bit more tricky. And what I mean by that is she has a couple of stances. She has PXS and SXS. There's not a lot going on in there, but she has like your frame trappy stuff, as well as like grabs and lows out of them. So it's a very basic stance. Though the one thing about SXS is she can get really low on the ground, like Xiao Yu in Tekken, where you can just like evade everything. She has literally the same animation as Art of Phoenix.
Wow.
So, but the thing that makes her really annoying at a higher level is she has launchers that are just completely safe on block, as well as a 12 frame super. So, when you are trying to close out games with Xianghua, it's very simple just because of how fast the super is and how easy to place the launchers are.
Okay, so where would you place her then?
She's balanced, but you can play her way too aggressively if you feel like it, just because of the fact that you have safe launchers to work with.
Okay, cool. And then we got guest character 2B. Now, I don't really know too much about this character in this game, so yeah, let me know.
She's so weird. She's a stance-based character like Maxi. She has a few stances going on. The one that you'll see most of the time is aggression shift. She basically just like becomes a race car and just zooms across the screen, and then you just have to guess.
Wow.
And that's just how it works. And then she has the other one, aerial leap, which is what it sounds like. She just jumps in the air, and it's really hard to hit her.
Yeah.
And so she's just a stance mixed up character. A lot of it is hard to explain just because it's nothing like that in the game.
So unique then. We'll put her in unique.
She's a unique stance-based character, yeah.
Okay, cool. And we got, is it Hilde? Hilde?
Hilde.
Oh, Hilde. Okay, cool.
I've heard people say Hilde before, but Hilde is I think what the announcer says.
Okay, cool. So where would we put this character? Because this character was popular, and so is it Soul Calibur 4 they were talking about her?
Yeah, she was the clear best character in that game.
Clearly. So where would you place her then in the archetype?
So in this game, she's not nearly as broken as that. In this game, she's kind of like a perfect character. She has range, and a lot of easy ways to control stepping. The one thing that I'd say she lacks is she doesn't really have the scariest lows. They're just very reliable. Pretty much everything in her kit is very reliable, but it's going to be hard to make big comebacks with her, I think. And I would say the thing that makes her unique is she has charge moves. So if you hold down your A button, you can, and then release the A button, you can get a charged A move, and the same for your B button. If you hold down the B button and then release it, you'll get a charged B move. And she has 3 different charge moves for each button from standing.
Yeah.
And from crouch, she has just 1.
Okay.
And then if you land those charge moves, if you land the A button, the horizontal button, she'll get a red hand, which will get her, which is like a Claudio Starburst. And then if you land a B move, she'll get a blue hand, which is, I mean, that's literally what Claudio Starburst looks like. So she can cash in on either of those in the round, and that also can help her.
So would you say that she's a zoner / mix-up?
I don't know if I would say zoner. You can zone with her, but you can be you can like conceal their movements really well with her too. Her grabs are decent, so you can mix people up with her, but the thing that'll make her shine is if you counter hit with people, stop their movements, and then whip punish them. I would say is the best way to play Hilde.
So would you say, oh, I forgot a perfect one for this one. Would you say, I wouldn't say counter hit heavy. What's the best way to call this archetype? Well, aggressive, because obviously when you're aggressive, you're counter hit, poking, baiting, all of that stuff.
Yeah, like an aggressive, but you want to bait with her at the same time and try to give it punishes.
Okay, cool. And then we got Yoshimitsu now. Yoshimitsu comes from Tekken, and he's basically a unique character in Tekken. I'm assuming he would be unique in this, but I'm unsure. What do you think?
So, I think in this game he's unique, but he's also a much more simplified version of the Tekken version. So in this game, the thing that like makes him, in my opinion, way better than the Tekken version is he just has a full crouch sweep that does the mini combo. Whereas in Tekken, in order to do that, you need like the counter on the full crouch sweep. The other thing this character has going on with him is he has a very, very fast buttons, good counter tools. And he can actually, he's the only character with the brave edges, and what that means is, this is a mechanic from Soul Calibur 5, where, or like, if you're familiar with 2D fighters, it's like an EX move, where, you just spend half of a bar, and you'll get, like, an extension on certain attacks.
Yeah.
So he has more ways to use meter, and he can also steal your meter, too. That's the other thing this character can do, if he lands certain attacks. So he's like, the thing that makes him unique is definitely he has like crazy stances like in Tekken, and the meter stealing stuff. And then if you want to play him like really dry and basic, I mean, you have like one of the best mix-ups in the game with the full crouch mix-up.
Yeah. So unique, or
he's like mix-up heavy, I would say. And if you try to fight your way out of the situations, he has really good tools to deal with that too.
Okay, that's cool. So we'll go with mix-up heavy then. All right.
Yeah.
So we got your old main.
Yeah, Kilik.
So let's talk about this character. I loved it. First, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you, but I love this character.
No, you're good.
I love this character. So I'm really interested to know your thoughts on this character.
So this character is probably the most well-rounded character in the game. I mean, he has the staff, so he can compete at longer ranges. They've given him like decently fast pokes compared to other long-range characters that you would expect on like the more short-range characters. Though he's kind of like Hilde, where like his lows aren't too crazy. And I guess really the thing about this character that makes him like super unique is his soul charge. So the thing that's way different about his soul charge is, so most soul charges, they're on a timer, right? You can be in it for so long, and then once the timer runs out, I mean the soul charge is over. But his works completely differently. So when you pop a soul charge with Kilik, you don't lose the soul charge meter, you instead lose your life bar. So if let's say you start the round, you soul charge instantly, it's gonna start taking your life bar all the way down until 0. Or sorry, right just before 0, and then it will stop taking away life force. So his soul charge is technically like the longest lasting soul charge in the game if you want it to be.
Okay.
But it does come with the risk of, you know, if you're messing up while you're losing life additionally to that, you can be the quickest to die too.
Whoa. So we'll just say all-rounder.
He is an all-rounder, but you can get a little fancy with it if you have meter.
Nice. All right, so we got, is it Groh?
Groh.
Okay, sorry. Let me not butcher his name. Groh. All right. Where would you place him on an archetype?
This character's you can play him on a very basic level. He's like one of the more newbie friendly characters, just because he has like a lot of auto sidestep attacks, and he also has stance mix-ups, which are like really straightforward too. There's mid-low, or stronger mids that are sometimes like can lead to more stance mix-up pressure or guard damages. And then the thing that makes him start to look a little crazy is when he's in Soul Charge, because this character can literally teleport when he's in Soul Charge. So he's like, if you really like anime, I would say you should play Groh. He's the most anime character in this game.
So are we saying mix-up? Because
he's a mix-up. He's a mix-up character, and he's for weebs. So yeah.
All right, we got Cervantes. I would say a classic. Came from Soul Blade. What do you think about this character?
Yeah, so this character is pretty strong. I think he has really above average damage.
Yeah.
On his main combos. The thing that can be really frustrating about Cervantes is he has really good like moves to space you away from him, on top of like really consistent pokes. So he's like one of those characters that you want to play neutral with and keep out your opponent out. And if you need to open up their guard, you have like pretty safe lows as well as like pretty high damage grabs. Not as high damage as a grappler, but still like I would say above damage compared to other characters.
Okay. So where would you place him? Where would you place him?
Yeah, just like a spacing character, I would think. Also, like Groh, he can teleport and soul charge sometimes.
Wow.
He also has one thing unique going for him, where he's the only character in the game with a mix-up that you can do when your back's to the wall. So he has a stance where he literally will just teleport onto the wall, right? he'll just hold on, let me demonstrate. He'll just be over here, he'll make some like grunting noises, you're like, and then you just have to block, and it does. If you block the mid, you like your guard damage gets deleted. And if you try to hit him, he'll teleport. He can teleport behind you as you're like trying to swing at him. So if you get frustrated, like he just camped that wall. He's crazy like that.
Alright, cool. Alright, so we're gonna say, where we gonna place him?
Just like a spacing character.
Spacing,
overall.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Setsuka. So she originated in the series from Soul Calibur 3, if I'm correct.
Correct.
She come back. A lot of people was happy about her. Is she a popular character in this game?
I would say people like her a lot. But she's also can be frustrating to newer players because of the fact that she's pretty much the character in this game where if you really like execution-based styles where you like have to do hard inputs, this is the hardest input character in the game. Though she's pretty good. My friend Woz recently won the We Play UFL thing with her, so.
Yeah. I saw. Yeah.
But I would say like the overall playstyle of this character is she has really, really nasty counter tools. If she has a main launcher which is 6xb. It hits grounded, and if you get counter hit by it, she gets a better combo.
Right.
And she has lows that do similar things too. And on top of that, she has certain faster moves that most characters don't get counter combos on at that speed, but she does. So she has a 16 frame counter launcher as well as a 14 frame counter launcher, which like shorter range than the 16 frame one. So it can be really hard to press on her if you're being smart about it. Though I would say one thing that could be harder with the character if you're trying to learn Setsuka, besides the execution stuff, is trying to stop people from sidestepping, because she does have probably on the weaker side for like mid horizontals.
So where would you place her then?
But I would say like an aggressive like counter character.
Aggressive counter character. Nice. Right, now this character from Soul Blade. Do you say Hwang?
I mean I hear people say that. I say Hwang, but I don't think it really matters.
Where would you place this character? Because I want to play this character, but he looks so different and feels so different from Soul Blade. Like, he just looks like a different character.
Dude, I feel like you need a PhD to play this character. He's so weird. Like, he's not. He almost is like a new character with how different he is in this game.
Yeah.
So he has like a talisman mechanic, right? Where you can so he has 3 different states. He has the red one. I forget the name, so you have to forgive me. He has the red talisman, which will give him benefits if your opponent's in soul charge.
Yeah.
He gets like a new leaflet on one of his moves, the 8A plus B. It's like a little bonk on the head.
Okay.
And he also has like a blue talisman, which will benefit him when his guard damage is getting destroyed. So if you're fighting like a character with like heavy guard damage, this one can be worthy to invest in. And you get a leaflet in that stance too, but I forget what it is. So you have to forgive me. He's like a newer character.
No worries. No problem. Where would you place him then? Did you say unique? Because unique is usually when people say unique, it's like kind of like a weird character. You don't really see that they have a different type of style.
He's weird. But you can play him. He's hard, dude. And then you also have the green talisman, which is a health-based one. So if you get low life, you get benefits. And then he also has one that you can only do in Soul Charge, which is the Iron Will. He says it like that. And it's the yellow one, right? And basically the Soul Charge ends, but you get one free counter hit combo. Okay. And then this is all very tricky because if you're mismanaging your attacks with like the talismans, he has a karma system, right? So you can either be anywhere from +9 all the way down to -9. So if you're in the positive range, you'll get benefits between rounds, like meter buffs or. But if you are going too crazy to do the stronger attacks, because you'll want to do the stronger attacks at some point. Yeah. You end up losing health if you're too far in debt, and you'll also lose meter if you're too far in debt. So it's that's why he's so hard to play. That's why you need like a PhD to play him, because not only do you have to like assess like what your opponent's doing, you have to assess if it's worth doing this move, you have to figure out which aura you want. It's just a lot going on.
I mean, I'm gonna try him, but that sounds like it sounds like I do need a PhD. So we'll put him in unique for sure. And then we got Azwel. Now, this character is very strange to me, but let me know what's your thoughts on this character?
He hurt my feelings for a whole entire year with how good he was. That's my first thought. But as far as how you play him, he has 3 different stances, technically 4, but pretty much 3. So the first stance, which is the one you'll see most of the time, is sword mode. Yeah. This is basically like a very pokey playstyle. He has like very fast AA, which is just your normal poke, and then fairly fast mids. It's just a lot of it's just like keeping your opponent in check when you're in sword mode. Yeah. And then you also have spear mode, which I would say is the weakest one overall. But the benefit of spear mode is you get a really strong full crouch mix-up. Oh, okay. Because he has the fastest full crouch launcher in the game when he's in that stance. Yeah. But the thing that is really like it can easily ruin someone's day just with how oppressive it is the axe mode stance. Okay. So the thing about the axe mode stance is it's not as fast as the sword stance, and I should say the spear stance is like pretty slow too, like slower than the axe stance, which is why it's not as good. But the thing about the axe stance is he has range, and on top of that he has a safe mid launcher that you can throw out. He has a different mid launcher that you can do where it will lethal hit if you duck, but it has like a 2-way mix-up for punishing it. You can either do your 16 frame punish, or you can try to frame trap you with a vertical that you can step. But the thing that will ruin people's days is the axe low. So if you're in axe stance, you get access to an unseeable low, right? And it does, I want to say like about maybe like 20 to 25%. I forget the exact number. But if the wall, if his back is to a wall, also it will wall splat behind him. It makes no sense, but that's how it works. So if he's like camping like a wall edge and you're trying to pressure him too hard while he's in axe stance, you can easily, if you don't have your frame advantage, you can just he can just turn the tables completely. So like he's a really nasty character in that regard.
Where would you place him?
He's unique, but most people play him in the least unique way with like the axe stance and just mix you up all day. So you can either be a very mix-up heavy character, or you can try to be, you can try to manage the sword stance more, which is pretty good, I think, if you're really good at it.
All right, cool. So we got another set of characters, but we're gonna try and go for it a bit more quicker because we don't want to make this video an hour. So we're gonna try and do it quickly. So we're just gonna say a brief one. So Taki, would you say she's rushdown?
She's rushdown. She has really good frame traps. Doesn't have the best lows, but she has really high guard images.
All right, cool. Then we got. Do you say mix up then? Well, no, rushdown.
Yeah, like frame trappy and guard damage heavy.
Okay, cool. Then we got Geralt from Witcher 3.
He's super easy. He has 4 different spells. He has the fire, which will chip you on block. He has the Ard Blast, which looks like a really fast move. He has the Iriden parry, which parries everything that you can normally parry. And he has the Ken spell, which is basically an armor attack, but it's not based on a damage spell. You can just armor through as many hits as you want.
So we'll say noob. Well, noob friendly, but that's not an archetype. But we'll say like we'll say noob friendly, but he's all round. I would say he's all round.
Yeah, very basic.
Okay, cool. And then we got Mitsurugi. Everyone should know about him. Casual, high level. That everyone should know about this character. So
he's so good.
Yeah, he's. I see him sometimes in tournament, but I don't know. He seems like the character that was the kind of poster boy-ish. Not really, but he's kind of, isn't it?
I mean, I think he's actually on the poster of this game, so we can just say poster boy.
Okay, cool. Yeah, cool. So he's like the poster boy. Where would you place him in archetypes?
He's you can space out people well with him. That's what skill tends to do. The better Mitsurugi player in the game. But he also has like some of the best lows also at the same time. Like he very high damaging lows like Azwel. But the issue you'll run into this if you're using this character is he's kind of weak when it comes to the horizontal department, kind of like Setsuka. So it'll be tricky to get you to be still, but if he is getting you still, you really have to deal with mix-ups.
So where would you place him? All round again?
All around there, but you very scary mix-ups.
Okay, so all round mix-ups. Okay, then Talim, where would you place her?
She's very stance heavy, kind of like Maxi. She has 3 different stances. She has like a back flip, a front flip, and a side twirl, and they're all equally evasive. The thing that makes her pretty unique is she has a reverse ledge cancel, which some other characters do too, but the reasons why hers is more notable than the others is because she can cancel it to all 3 of those stances.
Yeah.
So while she's parrying you with like the reverse ledge parry, you do like a move that's like normally not very risky against reverse ledge.
Yeah.
You have to think like an extra step beyond that because of the stance cancels that are evasive.
Okay. So
she's slippery and she does a lot of guard damage.
So we'll say stance / mix up.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Haohmaru from Samurai Showdown. Where would you place this character? Is this character good anyways? Because I've never seen him in tournament.
He's not that good, I would say, but the thing that the reason why you'd want to play him is he has straight up the best backdash in the game. So if you play a character shorter range, this character can be the character for dealing with that entirely. But he's very simple. You just poke, backdash the character. So he's like a keep out character.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's surprising that he's not like not many people play him, because I thought he was gonna be like kind of popular, but it just seems like no one even tries with him.
Yeah, I don't know. Just didn't work out that way.
Yeah. All right. So we got Voldo. I mean, yeah.
You're just scared.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
We just both looked at him and said, "Yeah, it's just he's just unique. He's just unique."
Yeah. Yes. So he can fight you while he's facing you, and he can also fight you while his back's turned to you.
Yeah.
Blindside stance. And he also has like a few other stances that he can do, but he's very tricky. At a higher level, you kind of try to like maintain the back turn stance as much as possible because it gives you the faster moves. And he has really nasty like guard pressure too, I would say. As far as like guard damage goes.
Alright, cool. And then we got Raphael. Where would you place him?
Raphael. The thing about Raphael is he has like kind of a pressure stance. It's like frame trappy in the similar sense of Taki, where you just like frame trapping on block. But the thing that makes him a bit different than Taki is that he has a lot more vertical range than her with the fencing stuff. And he has really good counter fissures and really good parries. He has some of the best parries in the game. In fact, he has a thing called form dodge where normally if you do a move with lightning or an unblockable on it, it will like just crush a guard impact, but he has like his own unique parry that evades those entirely. So he has like a lot of ways to get out of situations. On top of the fact that one thing that's really focused on the character is all of his lethal hits, for the most part, are tied to whip punishes. So if you whip punish a B move specifically, he has a whip punish for that, etc.
So where would you place him in the archetypes?
He's very good at frame trapping you, and punishing you. So like a mix of like
frame traps and punishment.
Yeah, but the issue you'll run into him is that his horizontal game's not very good.
Okay, cool. And then we got Seong Mina. So where would you place her?
She's also one of the easier characters in this game, I would say, to grasp. She has like Yoshimitsu, she has a very strong full crouch mix-up, where you just have like the knockdown low. And she also has very big buttons that are for keep out and can just like smack you really hard for moving around. So she's like anti-movement as well as like mix-ups. And she also has like really dirty ring out capabilities.
Wow. So we'll say keep out. She's got good keep out.
She's got good keep out and she's got good mix-ups. She's like both. Okay. Not very balanced when it comes to folks, but she's really good at keep out and mix-ups.
All right. There's not much point talking about Inferno because is he even tournament? He's not tournament viable, is he?
No, not.
Yeah. So
you can't take him. You can't take him online either. So don't even.
Yeah. Let's just forget about him. But yeah, no. Thank you very much for telling us the archetypes. What we're gonna do is we're gonna showcase the image of where the archetypes are at the end of the video. And yeah, other than that, I hope you lot enjoy this. Party Wolf, thank you very, very much for telling me, the archetypes with the characters. I hope you lot enjoy Soul Calibur. And yeah, man, if there's any last words you want to say, Party Wolf, or if you want to direct them to, your socials, let them know, man.
Yeah, I stream on Twitch and I post on Twitter at party_wolf_. And you can find me there.
All right, thank you lot very much. We'll be on to the next video. Take it easy, everyone. Peace. Whew.